He's going to be at the name of Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams in this season. That's who I think he is.
Think so?
Who is going to break out in 2023 that isn't a superstar yet? And the
two on here, just for me to interrupt, that I like are Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence. I think Justin Fields, Chicago is a little bit one of those organizations where do you have hope or do you not? I think the NFC North is a wide open division as well, especially that Aaron Rodgers isn't there anymore. And Trevor Lawrence, I mean, I've been high on him since the first time I ever saw him play in Clemson as a freshman. So
Yeah.
I just hate that he's in our division. And like it says here, addition of Calvin Ridley, I think that's huge for him. I think Trevor Lawrence is in for a really big year. And to have that Doug Peterson still continuity there in Jacksonville, they're building the culture. I think Jacksonville is going to be a pretty good team.
Yeah, I like that too. I think that, like I said, ever since Trevor Lawrence was drafted, even after the first season when we saw Mac Jones ball out, I said Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback still. He's good. He has the, he's him.
Agreed.
So
yeah.
Anyways, the first person I have on here is Garrett Wilson because I think he's gonna be he's gonna be at the name of Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams in this season. That's who I think he is.
Think so?
Garrett Wilson put up it was like over 1,100 yards last year, and that was with I believe Zach Wilson being a bum for a couple weeks, and then what quarterback did they have?
I want to say Flacco, but was that like 5 years ago, or was that last year?
They had Flacco last year too. They had Flacco,
Jesus.
and they had it was the guy that got hurt and wanted to keep playing. I can't remember his name. It's like I think his last name.
But
was
regardless,
Yeah.
now he has Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he has Aaron Rodgers now. I know Aaron Rodgers is kind of iffy right now because he come in there and just completely shit the bed at a new team like Matt Ryan did. I'm not saying they're on the same level, but
yeah, there's definitely that part of it. But there's also the part of, like I said about Frank Reich, what does a change of scenery do to somebody? So
Yeah.
there's two sides to it.
So Garrett Wilson put up 1,100 yards with some bum quarterbacks. That's all I'm going to say. And then after that, Garrett Wilson's going to come into this season. I truly think he's going to put up 1,500 plus yards in receiving. If Aaron Rodgers,
I can see that, and I want to see his touchdowns go up too. He has 4 last year.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers is going to put points on the board.
A lot of the touchdowns came off of Berrios and Elijah Moore. They lost Elijah Moore, but also what's weird is the Jets added Lazard and Randall Cobb.
And Randall Cobb, yeah.
So I
they
think
got McCole Hardman too.
What?
They got McCole Hardman.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Yep, that's what Google says.
So next I have Justin Fields. Obviously, the thing about him is with his skill set, he's obviously he could be one of the best in the league.
I like him a lot.
If he's put in the right system and he's throwing the ball good, he's gonna be one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Because you know what he gives you on the ground.
Yeah. So they added DJ Moore. That's huge. I don't think he's ever had a real wide receiver one that's like. They had a Mooney last year. He wasn't a real wide receiver one, I don't think.
It's kind of like the Cole situation, like the discussion of if Pittman wide receiver one-ish. The Bears have always had that. They have it now, certainly with DJ Moore.
Yeah, and DJ Moore, from what I've seen, betting on him, he scores touchdowns. So hopefully, not when you need him though, but Justin Fields, hopefully, I think that he's going to improve a lot this year. I did include him as a breakout. I don't think he's going to be like the breakout number one quarterback. I think he just has a crazy improvement this season. Hopefully the Bears can get their...
I think something with Chicago is, again, I don't know anything about him, but I think they still need some help on the O-line. And obviously that's number one with containing a quarterback, especially a young mobile quarterback, is just protecting him. So we'll see if they improve on that part this year. But just having DJ Moore and their record was really bad last year, but I want to say he still had a good year last year as a player.
Had a good season. I mean, obviously he had some bad games because I remember seeing he would have games where he had 8 completions for 100 yards.
Yeah,
and then
one of those games.
Yeah. Next on the list, I have this one. I'm kind of back and forth with. So Chris Olave, I think him and Garrett Wilson were just insane last year. Olave, you watch him play, he has the skill set to be another one of those receivers like Tyreek, Justin Jefferson, all of them. He has that skill set. But I put him on here because he had over 1,000 yards last season again with Andy Dalton, Winston, some
Revolving
different
door.
Yeah, and now you got Derek Carr in here. Now, I did see his stat. I think it was before Devontae Adams. I could be wrong. That he hadn't had 1,000-yard receiver before Devontae Adams.
Derek Carr never had one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's like a Raiders system thing, but I think that Derek Carr and him are going to be a really good duo. Let me look at the Saints wide receiver core right now because I think they added some people. They have Michael Thomas obviously, but I don't trust him. So really, to their wide receiver,
how can you?
Their wide receiving core, they don't really have anybody.
They don't have shit
other than Chris Olave and Michael Thomas. You got Traquan Smith. They have Brian Edwards too. I believe he played for the Raiders and was actually pretty good. So, on that note, Chris Olave again, 1,000+ yards rookie season. I think he can only go up from here, just like Garrett Wilson. You have Derek Carr now.
Yeah, I was gonna say they had pretty similar stats, him and Wilson.
Yeah, I think Olave had a lot more touchdowns though.
4 and 4. They had the same amount. Yeah.
That's weird. I think he had 2 in one game then. That's actually crazy. But we just talked about Trevor Lawrence as well. He's adding Calvin Ridley. I'm not really sure how Calvin Ridley's going to come in and play.
I feel like he just adds another level to that team.
Yeah, if he comes in there and plays,
they already had a pretty decent receiving core.
Yeah.
The whole time they were missing him. Like that's nice.
Yeah, their receiving core is actually really good. I remember going in last year, I said they probably have one of the best, like most underrated. I'm looking at right
Jacksonville's a very scary team, and I really hate that they're in the South with the Colts.
They have Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, and they actually added Jamal Agnew. I did not know that. He's a great special teams player as well. So Calvin Ridley, if he comes in, they did lose, I think, Marvin Jones from last year. But Christian Kirk, obviously, he's a great wide receiver. Zay Jones is a pretty good wide receiver. If Calvin Ridley comes in here and plays like he did in Atlanta, he's going to come in here and he could make Trevor Lawrence a top 5 quarterback if he can play like he did last year.
And I'm going to go ahead and say that I think Trevor Lawrence can make Calvin Ridley that much better as well. It's going to be both ways.
Yeah, I think